Good evening. Granddaddy P here. Wrestling expert. No, not quite. Not even a little bit. Okay. The other day I put out several videos defending, and let's say the name right, EO Sky. I've been going IO, and I know it's EO, but it just keeps coming out wrong. Anyway, I did all these videos on EO Sky. I think she's one of the best wrestlers that WWE has right now. Now, that being said, I also said that I thought she was sacrificed at Evolution. And I said, and I'm partially right, I said that Rhea Ripley was protected. Naomi was advanced because she became the champion. And Io was sacrificed. And in a sense, that's true. Because they had to protect Rhea Ripley. So there's no way that Io was going to be allowed to pin her. And this was their approach. And I said, I thought she was being sacrificed. What are they going to do with her now? She didn't deserve this. And certainly Naomi didn't deserve to be champion. I said all that. And I stand by that. That's all part of the fun of watching wrestling. That being said, I went back and put my analyst cap on. And you can never really get it right because you never know what creative's going to do. But I put my analyst cap on, and I came to some conclusions. Ready? Even when Io took the title, she was very respectful to Rhea Ripley and said things like, I defend this for you. Interesting. And then her last 4-month reign was as quiet as you could get. Really quiet. Very quiet for a champion. And then you had the big match on Evolution. 20 minutes of one of the best matches you'll ever see. WWE itself calls it a 5-star match and called it magic. And it was. And then you had the ending. And of course, if you're an EO fan, you're devastated. If you're a Ripley fan, you're devastated. But Ripley didn't take the pin. EO did. So because EO took the pin, we're all thinking, oh my, they're using EO again as enhancement talent. She'll now go back down and kind of be out of the picture and maybe do some mid-card stuff. Or maybe even go on hiatus and blah, 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 blah. We did all that. But then, if you actually look at the match and look at the aftermath, which is where I'm going now, the aftermath is incredible. She's crying in the ring, heartbroken, right? That's a sign. Rhea walks to the middle of the ring and helps her up and hugs her. That's a sign. Naomi has run to the back with her new belt. And she's playing as good as she can and doing it well. She's playing super arrogant heel. Oof. Right? Rhea and Io are now down on the ramp. And they're still doing the hug thing. And Rhea says, we did that. We just did that. We did it. We mainlined Evolution. And then they turn and raise their arms to the air together to the crowd. That's a sign. Then we have Raw, less than 24 hours after. And the new champion is introduced and she walks out in her heel form, arrogant heel form, and gets mixed reaction. Some fans, quite a bit of boos. Rest assured, creative saw that. Then Rhea Ripley comes out to decent applause. They have a little banter. And then they introduce Io Sky. And the crowd erupts. What a pop. You can bet WWE saw that. You put all of that together. Let me go now. There's a little more I want to add. And then through the week, you have our new heel champion mocking, not Rhea Ripley, but mocking Io Sky. Even demanding she take her profile pic down off of her ex account. See, the heel continues. Now, when you put all this together, what do you have? You have a sympathetic former champion who fought her heart out against someone like Rhea Ripley and then had it taken away, cashing in the bank, getting a briefcase smacked into her face, knocked out and pinned. She didn't lose clean. She lost by someone who's opportunistic. You now have a character in Io Sky that a lot of people are going to show sympathy for, and that's the plan. Then they come out and they call the match 5-star and magic. And it was just that. Pretty much, the champion is dismissed. You know, oh yes, a new champ, Naomi. Hey, we see your champ and that you and you use your noggin. Yeah, good job. Io and Rhea, that match was magic, 5-star, and on they went. And then they create for SummerSlam the triple threat match. Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley versus Naomi. And I'm getting the name Io right. And the crowd erupts again. And so what do we have here? Well, I have a couple of things. Now we have a situation. It looks to me like the WWE has been watching and has heard the fans. Io is definitely over with the fans. They love her. I do. So what's going on? Io Sky has never really had an arc of her own. Every storyline she's been involved in was about somebody else. I don't care about NXT, that's developmental. But on the main card, in the main roster, every one of her arcs have been about someone else. This arc looks to me to be hers. This storyline isn't about Rhea Ripley, although she's there. This storyline isn't about Naomi, although she's there and now holds the belt. People are saying things like, oh yeah, WWE's going to go deep. They're going to invest in this reign of Naomi's. Well, I don't think so. A couple of things could happen. As I said, I believe this is a new arc. Not actually new. It might have gone all the way back to when she won the championship. This arc is about Io Sky. I am now convinced of it. And I don't think she's being sent to mid-card or to hiatus. She might wind up over at SmackDown. That's a very real possibility. But they are not. Or she may stay in Raw, and there's a reason for that. They're not going to put her down. They're not going to diminish her. They're not going to demote her. They're not going to send her on a vacation. And no. Here's why. You don't give a person that kind of match that they gave her and Rhea at Evolution if you're planning to get rid of her, basically. You don't give a person a talent back-to-back top card at back-to-back pay-per-views. I know they call it something else now, but I'm old. Pay-per-views. Back-to-back. She was the headliner at Evolution, and she will be the headliner for the women's division at SummerSlam. You don't do that if you're planning to put someone into the, the mode of step down, get off to the side, take a break, and, just be chattel for other people. I don't think they're doing that. I honestly believe now, as I've done all the analysis that I can, you can never tell what WWE wants to do. Never forget that. And they will listen and sometimes do things that fans want and create using their input, but you never know what WWE is going to do. You never know what Triple H has in mind. And that's part of the fun. But I honestly believe this arc is going to be a redemption arc for Io Sky. One of two things will happen. She will either regain the belt by pinning, she'll have to pin Naomi, or, and if she does that, she gets the belt back, and then they will use her, and it's a good, I would love to see that, in Clash in Paris against Stephanie Barkor. And that would be the dream match. Or they will come up with a way to let Naomi stay champion. Now they still have to protect Rhea, but then they'll also have to protect Io. Could be interference, could be anything. And let this arc continue, this sympathy arc, as she continues to chase what's rightfully hers. Awesome. I don't know which one to invest in. I want her to be champion. I want her to do the match with Stephanie Barkor, but I am intrigued by a long arc of redemption and journey with Io Sky, the center of the arc, the center of the storyline. If that's what's going on, it's amazing, because you now have Rhea Ripley and Naomi, two super talents. Not that Io, see, I did it again. Not that Io isn't, but you have two super talents pretty much playing enhancement talent for Io Sky. I like it. So that's my take. I believe this is Io's arc. It is not a demotion. She is not being, well, she was used a little bit, because everybody gets used. But it was not a complete sacrifice. She's not out. In fact, I think she's dead center. Once again, I believe this arc is about Io Sky. Let's wait. That's all we can do. WrestleMania. See how it goes. Of course, we can look at Raw. I think there's 2 Raws between then and now. And we can see if we can read the tea leaves. But that's what I see. The not so expert in wrestling. And I will continue to try to get Io's name right. And I think I hit it once. I messed it up once or twice in this one, but I'm sticking to it. Io Sky. And I think the arc's hers. Granddaddy Pete, signing out.